Dark Shadows aired weekdays on ABC from June 27, 1966 to April 2, 1971. The series chronicled the lives, romances, trials, and tribulations of the wealthy and absolutely psychotic Collins family who lived in Collinsport, Maine, where a number of spooky, supernatural occurrences took place. To honor Dark Shadows' 55th anniversary, let's take a moment to pay our respect to the show's actors who are sadly no longer with us. We'll also see what some of the surviving cast members are up to these days. Joan Bennett. Throughout her career, Bennett appeared in more than 70 films, spanning from the silent movie era well into the age of talkies and television. She's perhaps best remembered for her film noir femme fatale roles in Fritz Lang's films like Manhunt, The Woman in the Window, and Scarlet Street. On Dark Shadows, Bennett played the matriarch of the Collins family, Elizabeth Collins Stoddard, as well as her ancestors Naomi, Judith, and Flora Collins. For her portrayal of those characters, she earned an Emmy nomination in 1968. In December of 1951, Bennett's manager, producer Walter Wanger, who had been her husband for 11 years, shot her agent in a jealous rage. The resulting scandal all but ended Joan's film career. Bennett died of heart failure on December 7, 1990, at age 80, at her home in Scarsdale, New York. She was laid to rest in Pleasant View Cemetery in Lyme, Connecticut. Louis Edmonds. Born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on September 24, 1923, Edmonds was best known for his roles in Dark Shadows and All My Children. In 1960, he appeared in the musical Ernest in Love, kicking off his career as an actor. From 1966 to 71, he played the cowardly, corrupt character Roderick Collins on Dark Shadows. In addition to that, he played Joshua Collins, the father of Barnabas, Edward Collins, the older brother of Quentin, Daniel Collins, a cousin of Barnabas, and Amadeus Collins, a lawyer who was the main prosecutor in Judah Zachary's trial in 1682. After Dark Shadows wrapped, Edmonds went on to play Langley Wallingford and Lenny Wyasak on All My Children. For these roles, Edmonds received Daytime Emmy nods in 1984, 85, and 86. He retired from that show after his health deteriorated, and on March 3, 2001, Edmonds died of respiratory failure in Port Jefferson, New York. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Facts Verse. Stick around to see if the actor who played Barnabas Collins, Jonathan Frid, is still alive. Joel Crothers. Crothers was born in Cincinnati, Ohio on January 28, 1941. He was an actor primarily known for soap operas. His most prolific role was Miles Cavanaugh on The Edge of Night, whom he portrayed for 8 years. On Dark Shadows, he played Joe Haskell and Lieutenant Nathan Forbes. On the CBS soap The Secret Storm, he played Ken Stevens, and on Somerset, he played the pianist newspaper editor Julian Cannell. Although he was openly gay when in the company of his co-stars, Crothers remained in the closet publicly and was engaged to actress Valeka Gray at the time of his death. The two became close friends while on the set of Somerset during the series' final season. During his last appearances on the soap Santa Barbara, Crothers was already growing quite ill. On November 6, 1985, he died from lymphoma, which he developed as a complication of having AIDS. He was 44 years old when he passed away in Los Angeles, and his ashes were scattered in Lake George, New York. Kathryn Lee Scott. Scott was born Marlene Kathryn Kringstad in Robbinsdale, Minnesota on January 26, 1943. While working as a Playboy bunny in the original New York Playboy Club, Scott studied at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. After graduating, she landed the ingenue lead in Dark Shadows. Scott ended up playing 4 distinct roles: Maggie Evans, Lady Kitty Hampshire, Rachel Drummond, and Josette Dupre. Aside from her work on Dark Shadows, Scott is also known for her contributions to 1970's Dark Shadows TV film spin-off House of Dark Shadows, 2017's Three Christs, and 1983's Philip Marlowe Private Eye. She was highly influenced by her mentor, Joan Bennett. Most recently, she played Marnie Eisenhower in the 2020 drama The 11th Green. Alexandra Isles. Best known for her role as the original Victoria Winters from 1966 to 68 on Dark Shadows, Alexandra Isles later retired from acting and began working at the Museum of Television and Radio, where she was a curator, specializing in arts, drama, and children's programming. In 1991, after receiving a grant from the National Endowment for the Humanities, Isles launched her career as a producer and director. Some of her most celebrated works included the award-winning documentaries The Power of Conscience, The Danish Resistance, and Rescue of the Jews, both of which debuted in 1995, as well as 1999's Scandalize My Name, Stories from the Blacklist, and Hidden Treasures, Story from a Great Museum in 2011. Isles' films have been featured at the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum, the Museum of Modern Art in New York, and various other film festivals. She currently works at the Metropolitan Museum as a volunteer educator. Mitchell Ryan. Ryan is an actor who's been fortunate enough to have worked in showbiz for more than 6 decades. He's best known for playing Burke Devlin in Dark Shadows, and later on he played Thomas Gibson's father, Edward Montgomery, on Dharma and Greg. You might also remember him as the villain, General Peter McAllister, in the 1987 action film Lethal Weapon. Ryan was born in Cincinnati, Ohio, and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. After serving in the Navy during the Korean War, he went to Barter Theater in Abington, Virginia, where he made his acting debut in Thunder Road alongside the theater's founder. While Ryan was an original cast member on Dark Shadows, he was fired from the show in June of '67 due to his alcoholism and was subsequently replaced by actor Anthony George. He later went on to appear in shows like Barnaby Jones, The Chisholms, and Executive Suite. Some of his other acting credits include the films Liar Liar, Magnum Force, and Hot Shots Part 2. He was also the president of the Screen Actors Guild Foundation for a term. Nancy Barrett. Barrett was born in Shreveport, Louisiana on October 5, 1943, but she spent most of her early years in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. After graduating high school, she attended Baylor University before finishing up her schooling at UCLA. After earning her degree, she married Ralph Pine, her agent. Barrett and Pine moved to New York City, where she landed the role of Carolyn Stoddard on Dark Shadows in 1966. After the show was canceled, she went on to appear in soap operas like The Doctors, One Life to Live, Somerset, and Ryan's Hope. After appearing in 1986's Belizaire the Cajun, Barrett retired from screen acting. In 2009, she reprised her role as Carolyn on the audio drama Curse of the Pharaoh. Since then, she's appeared in the New York production of Francis Petrell's The Yorkville Nutcracker. David Ford. On Dark Shadows, Ford played Sam Evans, the alcoholic widower, artist, and father of Maggie Evans. He was handed the role when Mark Allen departed the series after portraying the character for just 22 episodes. He also played the character Andre Dupre, the father of Josette, in the show's 1795 plotline. He went on to play Carl Devlin in the soap opera Search for Tomorrow. He was a morbid alcoholic for the majority of his adult life. On August 7, 1983, he died from a heart attack in New York City. He was 57. Thayer David. On Dark Shadows, David played various characters including Matthew Morgan, Ben Stokes, Professor T. Elliot Stokes, Sandor Rakowski, Mordecai Grimes, and Count Pitofi. On the big screen, he portrayed Reverend Silas Pendrake in Little Big Man. He also enjoyed roles in films like Save the Tiger, The Iger Sanction, and Rocky. David died of a heart attack July 17, 1978 in New York City at age 51. Grayson Hall. Hall was born in Philadelphia on September 18, 1922. She was widely regarded for her avant-garde theatrical performances from the 60s to 80s. On Dark Shadows, she played several prominent roles, including that of Dr. Julia Holman, the loyal confidant and friend of the vampire Barnabas Collins. After a 6-month battle with lung cancer, Hall died in 1985 at age 62. Jonathan Frid. Frid was a Canadian actor from Hamilton, Ontario. In 1964, he made his Broadway debut as an understudy in the 1964 play Roar Like a Dove. He was best known for playing Barnabas Collins on Dark Shadows. After the series, he returned to performing on Broadway, appearing in productions like Murder in the Cathedrals and Wait Until Dark. In 1978, he returned to Canada, but returned to New York in the early 80s. In 2008, he reprised his role as Barnabas Collins for the first time in 39 years on the Dark Shadows audio drama The Night Whispers. Frid died at Juravinsky Hospital in Hamilton, Ontario, of pneumonia on April 14, 2012. He was 87. Now it's time to hear from you. Who was your favorite character on Dark Shadows? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts Verse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.